Alright, so we're waiting on the oil line fittings. So we're really dead in the water until those show up. We have another car where we welded into the oil line, the existing oil line, but that's going to be too cost prohibitive and too much room for error to do that. So anyhow, we're going to give everybody the fittings, and then all the hoses and everything will be attached. I wanted to show you here what we got. Now this is the old bracket. This is what I was thinking I was leaning away from doing. But anyhow, I'm trying to figure out a way to make a press so that I can just do this myself and just create these. A lot of this stuff is just extra, you know. You don't really need this tab. You don't even really need this tab. The reason why I put this tab here is because I was trying to keep it from bouncing up. So understand, the cooler can't go backwards towards the passenger compartment because it's running into this plane right here. Okay, it can't go down because once it's screwed in here, it can't fall. Okay, because this plate is sitting here. It can't come forward because there's going to be these bolts here go right through here. Okay, there's holes right behind here that I'm going to drill eventually, but I was leaning away. And then this over here, and I apologize, this is so ugly right here, but this is the tab from the headlight. I took the headlight out so you guys could see what was going on. When you install the kit, it's best to just take the headlight out. It's only 3 bolts and the headlight slides right out. But anyhow, this is a tab, and so this sandwiches in here. And so what you'll be able to do is, the screw that already goes down through here, we can use that existing screw, or we can do a more heavy duty. There's not going to be a lot of stress on that screw because the sandwich of this device vices around the tab, so the screw really doesn't have much. So anyhow, just wanted to show you here what was going on, and more importantly, I want to show you how this cooler fits in here, because so far I haven't really shown that. Now right now it's not really screwed in, it's just it all fits snug enough, so this thing could actually fall out any second. Anyway, here's the cooling lines are going to come out, the ports. Lines are going to go back, obviously go back to the oil. And so you can see, okay, I trimmed this because originally I thought I was going to trim it up here to have it set in, but that's not necessary. So the ones that I'll be sending out in the future will just be completely untrimmed. Now, granted, somebody might want to take these tabs off the bottom, but I think that there's enough room where it'll be okay with the tabs left on. So the only vector that we don't have solved for is the bottom here. So this bottom can swing to your right and left, okay? Now there's a screw right back there, actually the one that's underneath the, that one way back there in the back underneath the tank. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run a rod, and that rod is going to have a leaf on it, and that rod is going to attach to the untrimmed cooler, but really only one hole. So this cooler is fine. I'll probably just keep it for my car, and I'll just cut this off here. But it would help if I showed you what I'm talking about. I'll just end up cutting this off and attaching the leaf to the rod that'll go back there. That'll keep the whole thing from swinging forward and backward. So we've got every vector taken care of. You got the up and down solved for, and then you've also got the, you know, literally it won't be able to go anywhere. Now that's assuming I punch these. The other alternative is I've got these. Let's see here. I've got this stuff. And so this would be the cross between the two leaves, the cross member. And then I could still use like a hybrid system. I could punch out this plate, because there's just really no good way to attach, even once I bought this stuff, there's just no great way to attach to these screws. Because see, the problem is you have to dive down in there, because where the screws are, they're lower. So it's hard to explain, but anyhow, so I'm just at a crossroads whether I want to do this with flat panel or whether I want to do it with this stuff, and how tolerant people are going to be if this isn't the most beautiful bracket in the world, because to get that punch down in there is a little bit of a chore. And then this isn't a perfect flat surface that this is on. Let me show you what I mean. going to take this cooler off here. Okay, so this actually comes up. It curves up. Why isn't it focusing? And you can see that there's that recess, and so you got to dive down, because otherwise, if you don't dive down, the bolt, okay, you can see. So you have to dive like right out of the gate. That way, this washer and this bolt can still go in. Otherwise, if it just comes across flush, the 90-degree angle on the way up is actually where the bolt hole is, so it just doesn't work. So, and then you've got these bolts up here, which I didn't notice before because today's the first day I really took the headlight out. So I guess I could actually run a piece of plate down and across, and then have the plate come out, and then the plate would actually hold up this, and then run this across to the two leaves on the cooler, and put a little 90-degree bracket on each end here on these. So that's the other option, and that might be the way that I go. It just depends. I got to look at this again with the headlight back in there and make sure that there's going to be room. But the point is, you're probably going to want to take the headlight out. So anyhow, there's my dirty air filter.